Hello again, deaf people. We are live at DevTalks. Today and tomorrow, key leaders and tech enthusiasts talk about the latest and most exciting aspects of the industry. And I want to give a big welcome to Adina Roming, software development Bucharest hub lead at Estelo Lauder companies. Hello, Adina.
Hello,
I
nice to meet you.
nice to
And
meet you
nice,
too.
very nice event you have over here.
Oh, thank you so much. I wanted to tell you some things about Adina, and I will ask her to tell more about her. With more than a decade of experience in application development, she is responsible for overseeing the software engineering team. Adina, tell us more about you.
Thank you for the introduction. First of all, I started coding very early. I was lucky to be a part of a generation of kids that got access to computers, not necessarily in our own homes, but access, in schools, in labs. And I started coding very early. I started coding probably in my first grade. And then I never stopped because it's incredible to tell your new toy, oh, this is what you're gonna do now.
Okay.
So this is how I started. So of course that was a lot of traditional type of software development, a lot of things like C, Pascal, and a lot of algorithms. But then moving into a professional setting, I chose something that resonated with me. So I went into fashion retail. We had an amazing experience back then. It was all very new. This is more than 15 years ago now, but it was about drops and creating new experiences for customers. It was all a very exciting time for everybody. And then I moved into high traffic applications. A lot of what happens in the back, always in the back, never interfaces, never. So it was a lot of very high traffic, millions of users a day, and this is a different type of challenge for somebody with my experience. And then afterwards, I'm now the software development discipline lead for the center here in Bucharest. It is an amazing opportunity. I have daily. I get to meet people, my all my colleagues that work in traditional software development, as we understand it, back end, front end, full stack, but also intelligent automation, QA, manual QA, automated QA. We get to do things like playing with a lot of data. And it's very exciting for somebody like me to also bring this team together and to figure out how we can work for the end business goals. So it's been
Okay.
quite an amazing experience so far.
Adina, thank you so much for your answer and for your presentation. Everything looks very good. And I want to ask you, how do you expect AI to change the course of your company in the next years?
So one thing that we are considering, especially in a company the size of Estee Lauder companies globally, is the fact that we are not looking necessarily at one big change in AI. We are looking at multiple small changes in so many areas. It's now it's becoming it's moving actually from small things like including AI in accessing and reading your emails and processing them, in small tools that can help people in offices here and there, which was the first step of AI integration. But then we also move into the IoT of things, because es- now that it's also in itself a new discipline, artificial intelligence in Internet of Things, it's now about integrating, about collecting, about securing so much data from assets, locations, products, vehicles. And then, of course, once you get the data, you can then start mitigating the issues. You can start find new solutions, find better ways of doing things in every small step of a huge supply chain. This is what we are looking for the next few years. What we are planning for, but most importantly, this is probably the reality of how it's gonna happen. Based on the way that everybody, us developers, see the tools that are coming every day on the market. We just need to find them, find the use for them, and also figure out how we can do better.
Okay, we spoke about the company plans, and now I want to go in this direction. Can you share a few insights on your company's most important projects? Let's find out more.
Okay, we can do that, of course. So, one of the biggest projects that we have right now across the whole company is about diversity and inclusion. Data is a huge part of it. We are now learning more and more about the impact that data collection over time and different ways of doing data collection is impacting the sources that we have today, how we can do better, where we can be better. And most importantly, we have access to more than 75 years old of records. Yes, the Lauder is a very old company. It has a lot of experience, and working with so many clients across the globe has now amassed tons of data that we can now use to debunk some old myths. It's about moving into the future with uh, our customers in mind, our employees in mind, but again, keeping this diversity and inclusion always in mind. And then another big project, it's been women's advancement. Out of the in the center here in Bucharest, we have 45% of the leadership, of total actually people, women. The majority of the leadership is women. Across the whole IT organization of ELC, we have probably more than 32% women, which is a clear average, much better than the international average that people find. And most importantly, we have women that care about the projects that they work on because it's the products that they love. You know,
Okay.
it's beauty, it's perfume, it's fragrance, it's skincare, and it's all about what makes us feel women.
Okay, thank you. We spoke about people, women, beauty, technology. How was the transition from working from home fully to coming back to the office?
I won't say it was an abrupt transition. We didn't take that approach. First of all, we now work in a hybrid way, which means that we took it slow. We started. First of all, we still were abiding by all the regulations and all the different necessities that the office had in order to accommodate people back in the office. And out of that experience came two things. First of all, the approach was a very empathetic, right? So we took case by case, person by person, figure out what works best for them, what works best for them in the team. And second of all, it was about us learning from what we did in the beginning and modernizing our office, modernizing our infrastructure with a huge focus on collaborative spaces. Because the point of us sometimes meeting in the office is about collaborating. It's not about doing individual work from the office. So, with that in mind, our new spaces are quite different from our old ones, much more geared towards settings where people can just get together and work on anything, be it a sync, be it an actual working session where you need to figure out something and there are five devs in the same room, be it an incident that everybody's figuring out. It's been quite transformational because again we took it slow and we learned everything from the beginning. We took it forward and over the next year to transition to this model that we have now today.
Thank you. Adina, people make the difference in a company. What strengths are the most important if someone would want to work in your company?
I would say first curiosity. And for me, this involves a lot of other smaller, let's say, it's a big family of strengths. It's about being able to learn, being able to still ask questions. It's all about also about a growth mindset. So this for me in interviews has been very important. It was one of the questions that I would routinely, actually probably mandatory ask. It was, so what makes you curious about us, or what makes you curious about technology, or trying to figure out what makes people tick. This is the reality, this is how you figure it out. And then the another family of strengths, I would say, would be grit and resilience, because as I mentioned earlier, this is a 75-year-old company. This is a company that always has its eyes forward. We've learned from their experience since joining over the last 2 years that resilience and grit is what took them so far and what helps them have the stability of moving always forward with a positive attitude. So it's becoming very important for us that the people we have here in the center in Romania also have this strength.
Thank you so much. It sounds great. Adina, it was a pleasure to have this short discussion, and I want to tell you that I want to join our conference here at Romexpo. And for you, deaf people, we came back with another interview. Adina, thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you very much for having me, and a successful event for the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you.